furious that he's been demanding that President Zelensky is effectively removed from power because he's not democratically elected. And that's something President Trump himself has more or less said already.
He said this in the campaign that the war never would have occurred if he had been president. So what he wants is this war behind him, and his speed is more important than substance to him. I think what Trump wants is a quick ceasefire or something he can declare victory on. What he really wants is the Nobel Peace Prize, because after all, Barack Obama got one, didn't deserve it, and why shouldn't Donald Trump gets one?
John Bolton just unleashed a truth bombshell that has Trump frantically calling his lawyers. In a jaw-dropping live TV moment, Trump's former national security advisor revealed how the ex-president treated crucial national security briefings like annoying homework assignments. What kind of president ignores vital intelligence that keeps America safe? Bolton's explosive revelations paint a terrifying picture of a commander-in-chief who only listened to advisors who praised him, putting personal ego above national security. And now, Trump's furious response only confirms what Bolton has been saying all along. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Trump's inner circle is shattering at the seams as his once loyal enforcer, John Bolton, has transformed into his worst nightmare on national television.
Well, no, I don't think it will last long. In fact, he said later in the day after that statement that actually he still thought Putin wanted peace. What Putin has received from Trump already are incredible concessions. Putin will take those, has taken those, and put them in his pocket, and now he's pressing Trump to see what else he can get. He can make a mistake. He's a good manipulator of Trump, but he's not infallible. And the concession that it's not the U.S. position to insist on Ukraine's restoration of full sovereignty and territorial integrity, no NATO membership, no NATO security guarantees, no U.S. security guarantees in effect.
The bombshell revelations have left the former president scrambling for cover as one of his most trusted confidants turns against him in spectacular fashion. This wasn't just any betrayal. Bolton occupied a position that put him at ground zero of every critical national security decision. As Trump's hand-picked national security advisor, Bolton had unprecedented access to classified information and witnessed firsthand how the administration operated behind those imposing White House doors. His position at the epicenter of decision-making granted him a comprehensive view that few others could claim. What makes this situation so explosive is Bolton's willingness to risk severe legal consequences by speaking out. Despite the looming threat of legal action over potential NDA violations, Bolton chose to blow the whistle anyway. The gravity of what he witnessed apparently outweighed any personal risk, suggesting the severity of the concerns that drove him to break his silence. The shocking Signalgate scandal emerged as the centerpiece of Bolton's revelations. Top Trump officials were using the encrypted messaging app, Signal, to discuss sensitive war plans outside official secure channels. Bolton condemned this reckless practice in the strongest terms, pointing out that proper secure communication methods were readily available but deliberately avoided.
How long this MAGA supremacy is going to go on? We've had Donald Trump again talking, raising the possibility of a third term, even though that seems to contradict the U.S. Constitution dramatically.
It will get to the Supreme Court. It's the uniform interpretation of every responsible constitutional scholar that 2 terms means 2 terms. If Trump is right, after all, Barack Obama could run again. Well, I don't think that will last long either. It's something that I don't think the American people voted for in November of last year. They voted because they were concerned about high prices and economic uncertainty. They didn't vote for most of what Trump has been focused on.
The former advisor painted a disturbing picture of how Trump approached his presidential duties. Intelligence briefings, critical to national security, were treated with shocking casualness, like tedious homework assignments Trump wished to avoid. The former president reportedly showed interest only when the materials included frequent mentions of himself, revealing a narcissistic approach to matters of grave national importance. Perhaps most alarming was Trump's behavior toward military experts. According to Bolton's television interview, the president would abruptly cut off high-ranking military officials mid-briefing if they failed to shower him with praise about his supposed natural genius for strategy. This pattern of prioritizing personal validation over actual substance created a dangerous environment where critical decisions were based on ego rather than expertise. The White House was reportedly thrown into absolute chaos following Bolton's public betrayal. Trump's team, caught completely off guard, scrambled desperately to contain the fallout from these damning first-hand accounts. Their frantic damage control efforts only seemed to validate Bolton's allegations rather than refute them. Those frantic damage control efforts quickly escalated when Putin's name entered the conversation. Bolton's most damning revelations exposed the disturbing truth behind Trump's seemingly chaotic foreign policy decisions. They weren't random at all. They followed a clear pattern that led straight to Moscow. The veteran national security advisor painted a disturbing picture of a president utterly captivated by Vladimir Putin. This wasn't normal diplomatic courtesy. It was an obsession that compromised America's position on the world stage. Bolton revealed that Trump's foreign policy wasn't driven by careful strategic planning, but by personal relationships that completely overshadowed America's actual interests. What truly horrified Bolton was watching Trump consistently prioritize his bizarre rapport with Putin over America's national security. The former advisor witnessed firsthand how Trump would arrange private one-on-one meetings with the Russian leader, where not even top security officials were permitted to attend. These secret conversations shattered decades of diplomatic protocol and left America's security apparatus in the dark.
If the tariffs that are about to come into effect have the consequence that every economist worth his salt knows will happen, and there are negative economic effects in the United States.
So that's very interesting, because again, from here, it appears that President Trump has almost no pushback, almost no limitations at the moment. You know, he's got Congress, you know, he's got the Supreme Court.
I don't think so. I mean, Republicans have been too deferential to him because they're scared, many of them, of a Trumper primarying them for the nomination. I think they're beginning to stand up.
About what promises were being made behind closed doors. The consequences were immediate and devastating. According to Bolton, these cozy chats led to hasty agreements lacking strategic depth that benefited Russia while leaving America vulnerable. Even more alarming was Trump's persistent pattern of siding with Putin over his own intelligence community on critical security matters, creating what Bolton described as an environment where the U.S. position was unpredictable and inconsistent. Bolton's revelations about NATO were perhaps the most shocking of all. He detailed how Trump actively undermined the alliance and repeatedly threatened withdrawal, fulfilling what Bolton called Putin's greatest strategic wish. This betrayal of America's closest allies wasn't just diplomatically embarrassing, it represented a fundamental threat to the post-Mobutuan security architecture that had kept Europe stable for generations. After years of silence, Bolton finally felt compelled to speak out because he genuinely fears for America's future. His insider account revealed a commander-in-chief who routinely placed personal relationships with dictators above America's national interests, creating dangerous uncertainty for both allies and adversaries alike. The most chilling part of Bolton's testimony wasn't about the past. It was his stark warning about the future. He painted a grim picture of what a second Trump term would look like, a bizarre mix of reckless military decisions and vendettas against anyone who dared criticize him. For Bolton, speaking out wasn't just about settling old scores, it was about preventing what he sees as an existential threat to America's place in the world. The truth is finally out. John Bolton's explosive testimony has shattered Trump's carefully crafted image once and for all. While Trump's furious Twitter meltdown called Bolton a disgruntled, boring fool, his panicked response only confirms what America already suspects. Bolton's revelations hit the mark. Make no mistake, this isn't just another Washington scandal. This is the moment of reckoning for American voters. Do we want a commander-in-chief who prioritizes personal vendettas over national security, or a leader who understands the sacred responsibility of the office? The choice couldn't be clearer. Bolton's brave stand marks the final countdown for Trump's political future.